You're live.
Hey guys, Gabe on TV or Big Man Comics live. How you doing today? I'm working on finishing up the page I did with you guys yesterday. It was page 98 of the Unstoppable Tyrus. Sorry, a little sugar-free orange Gatorade there. My nose felt a little. I don't get headaches, but if I get dehydrated, I can get a little bit of headache. And sometimes I forget to drink water in the morning. I have a giant coffee, which kind of dehydrates you a little bit. And then if my ears or head start hurting from that a little bit, I gotta have a little Gatorade sometimes. So yeah, I just got a little bit of this coyote character here, named Siete, and he's one of the. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he here to take down our friend Tyrus? I don't know. You'll have to buy it and read it to find out. But looks cool as hell. Had a great meeting with Aikion this morning. I want to get him out to Comic-Con in July. So, because I want, what I don't like, he's done so much amazing work for Big Man Comics, illustrating Imperium, Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, helping me with layouts on this book, and I got a lot of plans for him. I love working with him, and he was saying he couldn't come to Comic-Con for XYZ reason, and I want to get him out here, and I want you guys to, I want to know what you guys think of that, because you never see him online. Is he real? Did I make him up? Is he just me? Is he an alter ego of mine? Who is Aikion? You guys have never seen or heard from him if you think about it. But no, he's all too real. And he was telling me something that I thought. He says, it's great to work on all this, but it's like it's not real. Because he doesn't ever interact with the fans or anything like that. And he hasn't been to a convention in a long time. And he's just in his studio working. And for him, all this is like work, and like, where's the reward? Where's the payoff? So I definitely want to get him out here. And, you guys could be a part of that. What if you hit the like, you hit the share, you do all that, then I can make more money from YouTube. And, we can get him out here, give him a plane ticket, bring it, because he's got to come all the way from Europe. Our friends over in Europe, which Europe ain't doing great right now. A lot of the phone calls coming from inside the house. A lot of the destruction and sabotage of great European culture is being done by the leaders. It isn't a great thing. So let's get him out here. If you want to send in super chats, join the channel as a member, buy stuff on BigManComics.com. Let's get him out here for Comic-Con. Let's do that, because Aikion is a hell of a guy. He's a good friend of mine, and he's my mentor artistically. And, I would love to let him reap some of the rewards of doing such an outstanding work. Without him, this wouldn't be what it is right now. I would have obviously still done my Big Man Comic stuff, but it would be different. He's been such an amazing help and such an amazing teacher to me. So, but I had a great conversation with him this morning. The secret project we're working on, he loves it. And I can't tell you guys about that because it isn't... it's still me, but it's not Big Man Comics. I'm actually doing freelance work, which I just didn't think I would do anymore. But after I quit working for Eric July, I just, I kind of like, I don't want to freelance for anyone. This was an offer too good to pass up, though. It was right up my alley, morally and thematically, and it, paid pretty good. Pays pretty good. So, and it wasn't so big that it would delay Tyrus or Imperium in any way that would matter for the schedule. It wasn't such a long, months long project. So I said yes to this little side project that I can't really talk about yet. So yeah, so that's where things stand. And Jericho and I will be moving we do our double impact show for 3 years on Wednesday nights at like 7. Then we move to 7:30. Then we move to Thursday nights. Jericho has some other commitments and some moving things around for him. But we settled last night. We spoke after the show. Somebody will be very happy about this. We're going to do, and hopefully we can stick to this, and I'd like to stick to it permanently going forward. Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific. That's what we came up with yesterday. And hopefully we can just stick to that. So if that works for you guys, let me know. It's going to have to work for you guys because that's what we're doing. So is anyone here, or am I speaking into the void?
We have a few hellos. Remdog 1138 says, "Heyo."
Hey.
Let's see. Diane says, hi, everyone.
Hello, Diane. How are you?
And then, oops, I didn't mean to do that.
What'd you
And
do?
oh, I put up a different comment that I didn't mean to.
Oh.
It's Courtney's Fellowship of Audible says, hey, everyone.
Hey.
Gabe, you were just gifted a Matthew Marston membership if you didn't know.
I think I saw that come up on my email or something. Whoever did that, if that were you? If that was you, well then, danke, as they say in Germany. And then what is your welcome? Bitte? Something like that?
I have
Say
no idea.
grazie and prego in Italian. Then in Espanol it'd be gracias. And then they say de nada, which kind of means it's nothing. You know.
Right.
It literally means of nothing, de nada, but I guess it means it is nothing.
It was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regarding your Tuesday nights, Diane Francis says, yeah, I have Tuesday nights off.
Oh, good.
She said, I will finally be able to watch live.
Okay. Well, there you go. But yeah, Jericho's got some fun, exciting things in his life going on right now. But they interfere with Thursday and Wednesday. And you know me, I work for myself. So whatever night of the work week, Monday through Friday, works fine for me. I wouldn't want to do stuff on the weekends. First of all, I don't think you get the audience. Second of all, weekends, that's more my time, like family time, stuff like that. So I don't want to do that. And I want you guys to do family time on the weekends anyway, too, for yourselves. So
Courtney said it wasn't her. She just saw it happen.
okay, that's cool. Yeah. And I got this project I can't talk to you about yet, the freelance illustration job I'm doing. Some of my friends, speaking of Matthew, some of my friends that are rather famous might be involved in things that have to do with it. So you'll see. Maybe, maybe not. I want to oversell it, but just some conversations I've had. Could be some really fun stuff.
Ramdog wants to know if we've recovered from our day trip.
Day trip? Oh, like going to Hollywood?
Yes, I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, fine, man. I mean, we got home late. You know, we left Calabasas, which is northwest of Hollywood, at what, 11:30 or so? We left pretty late.
Pretty late.
Got home around 1 a.m. and slept in a little bit till like 9 or something like that. And fine. I'm fine now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had a busy day Thursday too. You had your show and I had a graduation.
Yeah, I'm always busy. Yeah, but you had to go to a grad. How horrible! Let's just say it. How horrible are graduations? By the way, this thing about human beings that fascinates me. We made all this shit up. We don't have to do any of this. All this graduation, all this stuff, filling out paperwork. You go every time you go to the doctor, the dentist, you have to refill out everything. Like all of this pointless, weird, boring, bizarre stuff. We don't have to do it. But like it's kind of like the Emperor's New Clothes, where like nobody is brave enough to say anything. And I would tell you, to a man, woman, and child, everyone at high school graduation is bored. Even the kids graduating are not happy to be there. The principal talking too long, the valedictorian talking too long. You're sitting in the blazing heat because it's June. No one wants to be there. Stop it. Let's do something else that's way shorter. Let's do it. We can. We made it up. Let's just make up something better. This is dumb. Nobody likes it.
Right. Last night, it was boring as heck.
It's so bad.
And Minnie, she got to leave because Big Baby was hungry.
Yeah.
So she drove all the way across town.
She's like, "Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Hello, baby's hungry. I'll be back. When this thing is over."
And that's when she got back, when it was just about over, a few minutes left. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad she was hungry."
I just didn't even go. I told her, I'll just tell my niece, "Hey, I'll come to your party on Saturday and congratulate you then." Sorry, I'm not going to a high school graduation. Sorry, that's just no.
Yeah, it was the party is on Saturday, but yeah, I think you're right. I think even the graduates don't want to be there.
I would vote for someone for president if they ran on that alone. No more high school graduations, no more college graduations, no more weddings, eating up a whole Saturday. Nobody likes any of this. We don't have to do it. We don't have to. Don't people understand that we don't have to do any of this? Made up nonsense. Oh, I just finished this page.
Good job.
Well, I was practically done yesterday by the time to go on the air with Jericho, but you saw that was like not even 10 minutes. I could have just
Right.
finished, but I guess we'll do another one.
Courtney's Fellowship of Audible says graduation at my alma mater is amazing. They had Andre 3000 this year as a commencement speaker. The year before me, David Bowie. You have no idea how upset I was that I wasn't a year before.
David Schmoey, David Bowie. I wouldn't want to go.
At
I don't care who it is. This is the worst. It's stuff like that. It's so bad. It's unbelievably. And you, class of 2025, you are the future. Oh, shut up. You said that last year. Would you knock it off? Every class is going to change the world, really. Does anyone really believe that? I don't mean to be cynical. But it's just, if you're going to say something, put a little more time into it. Why do we have all this peplum, all this just boilerplate, all this just repetitive whatever? What was yours? Class of 94, like none before. Really? Really? Because I think it was exactly like everyone before it. It was like none before. Get the hell out of here.
Are you saying I'm normal?
I'm just saying, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? It's so dumb.
So Elon Musk, and when they said they were going to change the world, they were telling the truth at his high school graduation.
I guess. Not interested. Super boring. Super boring. Can barely stand it. So
I will say Courtney probably goes to a school that has a lot of money if they're inviting those kind of people to be the commencement speakers.
Yeah, don't care. Not interested. What's David Bowie going to tell me? Oh, he's going to do that weird voice that he does. You know, that I never saw the movie, but in the movie Labyrinth, he's spinning those little crystal balls.
Yeah.
He didn't do any of that. He stood there, and another man stuck his arm under David Bowie's armpit with the leather long glove on and did that.
I did not know that.
I just saw that on the internet the other day. And you told me as a kid you love the way David Bowie was spinning the crystal balls.
I always wanted to know how to be so slick like that.
Guess what? He didn't do it. Yeah, he always wanted to do it too, and he never did it. So
that's funny.
Yeah. Fraud.
You'll like this. Remdog said, I skipped my graduation from Ohio State. If undergrads got to walk and each program had their own graduation, I would have gone. But graduating at 39 gives a different perspective.
I didn't go to mine either. I was 24. I think I was 24 when I started, when I finished college, because I didn't go to college till I was 21. And yeah, I didn't go to mine either.
And Courtney says, in your defense, actually, and against what I just said, Gabe, as soon as I walked across the stage at my college graduation, I walked directly up to the seats and told my family, let's go, please.
Get the hell out of here. Nobody wants to be there. Why can't we all admit it?
I like it.
It's like we're all sitting there just tortured, wasting a Saturday, and everyone's thinking the same thing. It's just like, you, class of 93, are the future, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, they're not. Like, it's no different than last year, and it's not different than next year. It's great. It's great that they graduated. Awesome. A lot of hard work. Actually, not really. Let's call a spade a spade. College is easy. College is very easy, and it's way easier than even high school. College is a joke, and it has been for a long time. Let's tell the truth about that. Okay? College is a bunch of nonsense. And it's too long, and you don't learn shit there. You know, I don't know why the college has to be 4 years. That doesn't even make sense. That's stupid.
I agree with that. Because your first 2 years, you're doing
general ed.
General ed. You should have learned all of that in high school already.
You should have learned that in the 13 years of kindergarten through high school. You should have learned all that.
Right.
Jeez.
And it's like that; those subjects don't help you in your field of study. They're just a waste of time and money.
Yeah, it really is just a money pit. Like, why? Like, if someone's a psychology major, they don't need to take art. They don't. They're there to learn psychology. They don't need to draw. What are we doing? You know? Oh, student loans are not forgivable debt through bankruptcy? Oh, that's what we're doing. Rack up like $200,000 in 4 years to go to a state school. It's beyond ridiculous. Not a big fan of higher education in the state that it's in. I think it's pretty bad.
I was just trying to count how old I was when I graduated because Rum Dog said he was 39. I think I was 32.
31 or 32. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Diane Francis said Little Angels is not in theaters in Las Vegas.
Uh-oh.
I,
I mean, it is a smaller, more independent movie, so it will be nationwide, but a limited release. You're gonna have to look high and low. You're in Vegas, though. Love that. Love that. I'm in Vegas a lot.
right.
Yeah, love Vegas.
She also asked, how is Big Baby and Minnie?
They're doing great. They're doing really good.
Big Baby is growing and talking more and more clearly. And it's really sad because they reached this milestone where they no longer refer to themselves in third person.
Right.
Like Ivy do it, Ivy hungry, Ivy shoes. Now she's starting to say, I'm hungry. Well, I'll do it or whatever. But it's kind of sad, but it's good for them, but sad for us.
No, they're doing really good. Minnie's doing great with the comedy. She's got a show with the famous Brad Anderson. You've seen him. Everyone's seen Brad Anderson.
Brad Williams.
Brad Anderson is a comic book colorist. You're right, Brad Williams. Brad Anderson is a friend of mine who colors.
Yep. I thought that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Rhyme Dog says art degrees should be a 3-year I can't say the word atelier.
Yeah, an atelier. An atelier is a French term for what it means is like an open air place where you see how the sausage is made. That's what an atelier is. But it's also another word for like an art studio. But it just means where it's like an open plan studio, an atelier. But it's just a way of saying art school. Remember that there was an atelier I wanted to go to up in Encinitas to go do life drawing. You know,
right?
I think it was Watts Atelier because they did life drawing forever up there. So,
None the Miser says a lot of people go to college for 7 years. This is a quote. Yeah, they're called doctors. Tommy Boy.
Right.
Not all of them are doctors. None the Miser, because I also went to school for 6 or 7 years.
I went to the university.
I think it was 6 years.
I went to the university for 3 years. So I went to the junior college for like I didn't take my SAT or ACT. I just didn't plan on going to college. I thought I was going to do comic books right out of college. And so I didn't take SAT, ACT, anything like that. So they made me go to the junior college for 1 semester. And then I went over to the regular university.
Right.
So it's kind of funny, like kids trying to get into a university from high school, it's very hard. And then once you're an adult, you can just kind of go to a university.
They'll take your money.
They'll take your money. You're grown up, and yeah. So I was 21 when I got into college. So
right. And in my defense, we did have 2 children, and I went part-time for a few years while I was trying to maintain our household, hold the job, and get kids to school. And
right. Because while I went first, and I had 3 jobs, and I went to school, and so yeah, you didn't go at first.
Right.
And then you got all like, you copied me.
Okay.
And then because I went, you went. I would give them my degree back. If they would give me, I got a raise my price. I used to say $5,000. If they give me $20,000 cash on the barrelhead, I'd give it back.
Nice. I would give mine back because I do think I needed to go to school to learn what I learned, but I would also do a mentorship where someone's just teaching me one-on-one while we work. I'll do that too.
Yeah, I mean, art school is good if you have serious artists as your professors. Unfortunately, most of them, in my experience, are woke jackasses. The professors I really liked were former artists, and they knew their stuff. But that was about 3 out of 30 professors. Most of them were just graduate students who never moved on and had a real art career, or angry, ugly, woke feminist ladies that worked at the museum and hated illustrators. Right. Not my fault you didn't have the balls to sit there and learn to draw. Just sit your ass down and learn to do it instead of getting mad at people that know how to draw.
Right. None of the miser said he wasn't poking fun at anybody. He just loves that movie. But what I forgot to say earlier when I was telling you how long I went to school, Gabe told me I better be a doctor when I came out of there. And I thought that was funny because it took me quite a while.
Yeah.
But no, I just have a bachelor's degree.
But it's one of the few professional degrees. It's an accounting degree.
Yes.
You know, the real degrees are medicine, law, accounting, engineering. Those are like what people should go to college for. Going to college for art, I don't know, man. That's like, it takes so long to learn to draw. You're not going to learn to be an artist in 3 or 4 years. You know, you have to go to college already as an artist, you know.
But then that's like begs the argument of, do you even need to go to college if you're already an artist?
Well, I mean, to this day, I still have a mentor. My buddy Akeon, like he's an art mentor to me. Yeah, you never stop learning. But the problem with the college is the professors aren't serious. So many of them. They're just Trump derangement, weirdo, ugly feminist people. Like, and then I remember it was so disgusting. I worked as a professional illustrator while I was in college. I remember some of my teachers were haters about that. They didn't like that because, you know, they were, being honest, they were a failed artist themselves. So they were jealous of a 21-year-old kid who's making money and winning awards drawing. And I remember they put on a faculty show in the art gallery. And I went in there and I looked at all the paintings and the sculpture. I'm like, these people are the ones teaching me.
Right.
Maybe I should be teaching them. What the hell is this?
That's where the rubber meets the road.
Right. There's a great movie, and at first it was a graphic novel by Dan Clowes, called Art School Confidential. And it stars, who is that guy? John Malkovich is in it. And John Malkovich plays this pretentious art teacher at the college. And he invites someone over to look at his triangles.
Oh.
And he's painted a series of triangles that examine the human blob. Oh, golly, would you shut up? Would you shut up? You know? So I am very much an elitist about art insofar as drawing, because it is, I think it's the most important art form is drawing, because I think it is the hardest. I mean, I've learned it, but I think it is the one that instantly dazzles anyone. And I include painting and drawing as the same discipline. It's illustrating. And I think illustrating is the most superior art, more than sculpting, more than dance, more than singing, more than writing. I think illustrating is, I mean, when we look back at the oldest stuff we can find, the caves in Lascaux, France, the caves in Spain, the Egyptian hieroglyphs, the first thing we see, if you go to Göbekli Tepe, the unknown civilization of whoever lived there tens of thousands of years ago, they're bas-relief, right? They're illustrations. This is one of the most human things. You see those handprints on the wall in Lascaux in France. It's a type of illustration. This is one of the most human things. And it is the ultimate form of art. And it does take a ton of effort to learn how to do this. But once you do it, it's so rewarding. And I think a lot of artists, quote unquote, so-called artists, they're very angry and frustrated because they love art, but I think they're more in love with being a rock star than being an artist. And they don't want to put in the time to learn to draw. And I think, as my professor, Seger Hartgers, master artist from the Netherlands, former U.S. Army artist, he did a lot of watercolors and oil paintings of generals and stuff that actually hang in the Pentagon to this day. He was an immigrant who joined our military to get a citizenship. And he came up to me, I told this story the other day, he came up to me and laughed around and said, you know, Gabe, if you can't draw, you're not an artist. And I agree. I totally agree. If you can't draw, you're not a visual artist. Sorry. It's like the baseline prerequisite. And I get mad at people that want to be this way and they don't want to put in the work because I know they can do it. See, I don't not believe them. You're being lazy. Learning to draw is a lot of hard work, but you can do it. Like, yeah. So it's just kind of like you're frustrating yourself and then getting mad at people. Like, I don't know, some of these art professors, they were weirdos. You know, they would like talk shit to you about comics and illustration and, you know, don't you think that's this? Or don't you think that's really, like, you know, they would just kind of shit on it that it was sexist or low IQ or just really,
like second class art.
Yeah, I was like, oh, whatever, dude. Whatever.
Remdog 1138 asked earlier when you're talking about the atelier, He said, I actually asked the other day if you ever went to Watts. I want to get his book on interpreting Brigman.
No, Bridgman's funky,
Oh.
right? Because Bridgman knows a lot, but there's a bloopiness to his body language. Like they look like they're in a lot of pain. Well drawn, a lot of technical, but he's Bridgman. He's a master, but because I don't know if it's intentional or like a flaw in his stuff, where he's kind of missing the forest for the tree. Sometimes it's like, whoa, that shoulder joint is it dislocated. Like his people are kind of like they got this funky anatomy to them. Sometimes it's correct, but it's not correct. It's weird. I have Bridgman's drapery book, and it's how I learned to draw clothing. It was the foundation of how I learned to draw clothing. Because something when you're into action, adventure, comic illustration that you don't learn as a young adult and a teenager, you don't learn how to draw clothes. Because all superheroes are naked, and then you just color them. Batman's naked, then you color him gray, and you put some undies on him. But if you think about all superheroes, they're effectively naked. You're just drawing muscles. And then you start drawing someone wearing a pea coat or an Afghan sweater, and you're like, how do I draw these? The physics of the fabric folding and pinching and turning and spiraling. And so in 2004, I got this freelance job, and I was like, oh, these people are wearing normal clothes. So I went and bought Bridgman's book on drapery and stuff. And I think the thing about Bridgman is he overdoes it. I would tell him less is more. He's a great illustrator. He teaches a lot, but it's overdone. There's too much detail, I think. Less is more. But no, never been to WhatsApp yet, but I thought about it for a long time. So
Maybe someday only.
but I like to work at home. I like to lift weights at home. I like to do everything at home. So I want the convenience of just being here in my home studio. I don't want to drive up to Encinitas or somewhere to go take a class. So I told my wife what I could do is just put an ad out and then hire young women to come and model for me here in my studio. Then she had a problem with it for some weird reason. I don't know.
Weird. Very weird.
Yeah. Girls that dance, girls that are athletic and in shape. Just thinking come and model. That's what we did in life drawing in college. We were in the art school, so you had, drawing, sculpting, visual arts, photography, everything. But there was the dance school, and they were on the floor above the life drawing thing. And the life drawing teacher would put ads in the hallway, and we would always get dancers. And they were in great shape. So you could see all the muscles and all the bones correctly instead of a woman of more carriage where there would be more padding. And you couldn't see all the bone and all the structure.
More robust.
A more sturdy
Rubenesque.
woman, a sturdy woman, where you couldn't see everything. So yeah. So I still think you guys in the chat, let me know. I still think I should just hire models to come to my house and model for me here.
What do you want the chat to let you know?
That you're wrong and I should do that. I mean, you want me to keep gaining my skills, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Skills buy you all those nice things you have. So, and I'm sure there are plenty of young ladies that, they're young, they need money, they don't have a great job yet. What?
I'm just wondering where you're going.
Just always trying to get better. You know where to go. So, what's the chat have to say about any of this?
Diane said the wife is always right.
Well, not if she's wrong.
You got a super chat.
Hey, let's go super chat. Super chat, Ikion to America for Comic-Con. Let's do it.
Zero Dark 20 for $10. It's I think it's Canadian.
Zero Dark 20 emailed me and sent suggestions that he wants artists that I know. And I've been thinking about this for a few days. It's like, well, I know really reliable artists, but I'm hiring them. I know really good artists, but they're not reliable, and I don't want to do that. So I feel like I'm cornered. But let's see what the super chat says.
He's got a page rate question. He said, I did some of my own research. I'm getting quotes that 90-page graphic novels can run you $300 per page, including inks, pencil, and color. Does this sound right to you? This profession is hard.
If you find ink, pencil, and color for $300, run. That's cheap, and that's not going to be good, in my opinion. Unless It's a
Maybe
kid.
it added up to 300.
That's what I'm saying. The pencil, ink, and color for 300 together, that I would be hard pressed to think that would be good work. Like, no. If you found it, then take it. But holy cow, I don't believe that at all.
Make sure you see their work first.
Yeah, and not just the work history. Because, dude, I told you, a lot of artists, they're like that dog from the movie Up. Squirrel, squirrel. They're so thrilled. They're so excited. They're so enthusiastic about a project for 5 minutes. They draw 5 pages, and they're on to something else. And if you don't pay them up front. Pay them 5 or 10 pages at a time. Do not pay them up front. You will never see your drawings or your money again. Don't do that. But $300 is dirt cheap if we're talking quality. If we're talking amateurs, it sounds right, but amateurs make amateur work. You know what I mean? So we could talk offline. I'm not going to give you what, like if I was going to do a graphic novel for you, $300 is not close per page. That's not close to what I would charge. I'll just say that. Not even close.
All right. And he said, oops, hold on. Zero Dark 20 said, thanks, brother. I will wait for you to send some names.
Okay, I will think harder because every guy I can think of is like, wow, he's good, but I don't know about this deadline stuff. But I got to think about it more. I've been so busy because I'm trying to expand. I want to eventually hire more people, and I've got my list. So you're competing with me for more freelancers that I need to hire. So, you know.
Well, and we need to thank him for that.
Oh, the super chat. What? You didn't even tell me the amount. We always say the amount.
I did.
And then we give him the van. Well, I wasn't paying attention.
I said it was $10, and then I said, oh, wait, it's Canadian.
Canadian. Who knows what the exchange rate is? That could be $1 billion. We could be billionaires.
Let's quit now.
All right. See you later. That's the show.
All right, Zero Dark 20, this is for you.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your
Makes you think. But $300, yeah, I don't know. That could be an amateur, but it might really be some amateur work. You know, I don't know.
I don't know. He just think you guys. I don't know if Zero Dark you sent an email to in the contact section of.
I got the email the other day. I haven't answered him yet, but I talked to him about it again on Twitter. He told me that I emailed him. Like, yeah, I saw it. I'm just, dude, I don't know. We'll have to figure this out.
Yeah, he says if you ever have any free time, maybe you guys can talk.
Yeah.
So, going back to Bridgman, Rhyme Dog 1138 says Bridgman actually was published posthumous. Is that how you say that? Posthumous?
Yeah, after he passed on.
Yeah, no, I know what it means. I'm just not sure if I'm saying that correctly. The drawings were interpretations by his students of drawings done in class.
I did not know that. You know, if you want to know everything about drawing, there's only 2 guys you ever need. Okay, there are about 5 or 6 books by this Spanish guy. He's an animator. He worked for DreamWorks. He worked, I think, for Pixar, for Disney, for everyone. His name is Marcos Meto Mestre, and he does the Framed series. Framed ink, framed storytelling, framed this. His latest book is Framed Environment Design. Genius. 100 years before him, or 80 years before him, there was the other guy that was basically him, who knew, because Marcus Mestre knows everything. Everything about drawing. People, shadows, light, perspective, theme, mood, environment. He knows everything, and he's gifted and he knows how to explain it. I have all of his books. Insane books. Okay. The other guy, exact same guy, about 80 years ago, knows everything. Mood, setting, light, just like the way it feels. He talks about business and contracts. Andrew Loomis. Okay. You get Andrew Loomis has about 3 books. They were out of print for decades. I remember a kid in college put it on a CD-ROM and gave it to everybody because you couldn't buy them. So like it wasn't pirating because the books didn't exist. And then they put the books back out about 10 years ago. Fun with a pencil, drawing the head and hands, and one other book, Andrew Loomis. I have all 3 of them. They're outside. The Andrew Loomis book, I have it right there at my drawing desk, drawing the head and hands. I use it all the time. So Marcos Mestre, the Framed series, the first one is Framed Inc., and then Andrew Loomis, his series of books. You get those, you don't need anything else. They're insanely good books. And just be a student your whole life, a student of everything. You ask my wife, I am an autodidact. Okay? And the reason I'm an autodidact is because I teach myself things like, what is the word autodidact? Auto meaning self, didact meaning to talk or to speak. An autodidact is a person who teaches themselves things. So I'm like a permanent student, but I don't go to college. I just always learn everything about everything. And you can ask my wife, know a lot of stuff.
A little bit.
I really love learning. Love to learn. You know, it's a passion. So, yeah, I just find pretty much everything fascinating. You name the topic, and I'm like, yes, I want to know. I want to learn. So, and especially art. I always treat myself like the teenage boy that was learning to draw. Because you would think, oh my God, Gabe, you worked at Marvel and DC and Superman, Batman, Iron Man, Avengers, Black Panther, Justice League. 3 books I worked on, Eisner nominated. That's the highest award in comics. 2 of them won the Eisner. Been to the tippy top of illustration career. I still think like I'm 13 learning to draw because that's how you have to think about life. You can't get arrogant and you go, oh, I'm this guy, I'm Mr. Big. Like, no. Always be just burning with desire to learn. So I find people that are better than me, like my buddy Akion. He's a master animator and illustrator. I just send him stuff. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? How do you think of this? Would you lay this out for me? Would you help me with this? And I'm just like a vampire, just steal all of his knowledge. Because why not? You'd be a fool not to do that. You let your ego get in the way of getting better. The amount of growth I've had in the last 2 years under Akion's tutelage probably surpasses like the last 15 years of my life in drawing. Like he's just microwaved my talent for me, just really helped me. And I think all of you have to do that. You have to find people who have better skills than you, but they also know how to verbalize it and teach. And they're kind of like honest to the point where it's almost mean. You don't want someone blowing smoke up your butt. You want someone who's going to tell you know what, this kind of sucks. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? You're being lazy here. I can tell you're being impatient and lazy. And like, you want someone that's going to just give it to you straight, And Akion's, he's really good at that, So he's a good dude, great mentor. And I'll just keep working with him, Just keep working with him as a mentor and a co-collaborator. He's really good at this stuff, teaching me. So, yeah. But I could go on all day about teaching, about learning about art, because it really isn't like I think art to the layman who doesn't know how to do it. It looks like a magic trick. You guys that can't draw, you can't even picture yourself drawing, right? It just seems like how could you even do this? And I'm just telling you, I'm just moving my fingers. You can do that too. That's all I'm doing. Right? I'm thinking, I'm blah, blah, blah. But physically, just move my fingers, move my arm, move my wrist. That's all I'm doing. And you actually can learn to do it. And it's really satisfying. I think everyone should know how to draw. It used to be a part of classical education that everyone kind of did know how to draw, at least rudimentary, good enough to get their visual point across. It was something they taught in school. Now I don't know. They teach them,
and calligraphy and stuff like that, and that's art.
Yeah, and cursive. I do think cursive is a useless waste of time. But well, I mean, come on. But now what do they teach them? Like what gender they want to be this week or something? Like that's what they're teaching? I don't know. So, I saw a thing, the California Assembly is trying to outlaw charter schools and homeschooling. They really want the kids. The liberals who hate children and never would have kids of their own because they're so selfish and they want all their time to themselves always. They really want your kids though. They don't want their own because God forbid they ever have to do anything they don't want to do. But they want other people's kids so they can twist them and hurt them.
Well, that's like ruining someone else's things, but not your own.
Yeah, well, let's see how that goes for them.
Right.
We'll see. Yeah. I do love how out of touch they are because they're so arrogant they can't consider that they're wrong about anything. One of the most comical things that's currently happening is the Democratic Party trying to figure out how to reach out to men. But if you watch them
Right.
talk about it, they still don't know what the problem is. Like, yeah, we just have to teach men to be more inclusive and stop being so hateful and bigoted. Then they'll vote for us. Like, wow, you learned nothing. Okay. That's why they're not voting for you, because you call them that and you tell them that their natural way of being is wrong and evil. So until you stop being bigoted and hating them just for being men, they're never going to be on your side. You get it? If you come to me, a normal man who likes women, and you tell me I'm a pervert because I like a beautiful woman in a bikini, I'm going to tell you to get the fuck out of here. I'm not a pervert. I'm normal. I didn't make myself that way. That's how I'm born. And there's nothing wrong with it. You're sitting there shaming. You just like sexy women.
Yeah.
Right. I like good food. I like good weather, comfortable clothes, money, a comfy bed. Yeah, I like things that are nice. Yes, goodness. Yeah, but you just like her because her body is pretty and you like that. Okay. This is somehow perverted.
Everybody likes things that are pleasing to the eye.
Yeah. Yep.
And it doesn't have to be a person. There's landscaping and art and all kinds of stuff that you're like, wow, that's beautiful, and you appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Including women, including men, for me anyway.
I don't like pretty men.
But you can look at somebody objectively and say, wow, that's like a good looking person.
Then you have to say no homo afterwards.
Exactly. One thing I was thinking while you were talking about the Democrats' campaign of how do we reach men. So I understand when, like, I'm just going to say, like, a gaming company is trying to get more customers. So they're like, oh, there's a bunch of women that don't play our game. How do we reach them? And then you have to, like, brainstorm on a campaign or whatever to reach women. But when you're talking a political party, there shouldn't be a gender of the party. So you would just say how your whole campaign should be reaching humans, people. But because they're so twisted with their thinking, they've lost a whole gender. And
well, you
now,
can't just be bigoted against a group
right,
and then say vote for us. Like, what are you doing? Drugs? I mean, they're probably on drugs. I don't know, but like, you can't, we hate you. We hate everything about your nature. Why aren't you voting for us?
right. So
I feel like the answer's in the question. So I don't know.
yeah,
It is fun to watch. Though. It is fun to watch them flail like this. Their stupidity.
but you see what I'm saying? Like the whole problem is a problem that you have this problem, because the way you've alienated the men. And
well, I think but the Democrat Party is feminine in its concept and its thinking.
yes,
It is run by women, and it's a women's primacy in the tone and the what they're going to do. And they fundamentally don't understand men, and they hate and resent men for some bizarre reason, probably from not having fathers, right? Women people kind of hate men. And so they're really like, they don't ever question themselves like, well, this is how it is. And it's like, oh, that's not how it is. That's how you think it is, and you're mistaken. That's not how men are. And the thing that a lot of women, whether they're liberal or not, a thing women don't understand about men is if you mistreat us long enough, we're not going to tell you anything or anything. We'll just shut down on you. Because we'll work hard. We'll live a life of sacrifice, pain, misery, late nights, 80 hours overtime, smashed up body. Not if you're going to disrespect me. You don't have to kiss my ass and give me an award, but you can't ask for my blood and then spit in my face. That would be basic respect. So you can't get everything that men give to society. Because if everyone watches, if you stop and just look around your room, everything you have was invented, created, built, and maintained by men. There are small exceptions, but men make everything for women and children, and we do to this day. There are no women at the bottom of the coal mine. There's no women diving in the sea to weld the oil rig. No, men are like what 90% of the deaths in work, and as it should be. Yeah, you shudder at the thought of women working in a coal mine and dying. Nobody wants that, men or women. And but it's like I don't need an award for it, but you cannot have me sacrifice my life, my body, my time, and then treat me like a footstool. Like yeah, you do work for me. Like whoa, 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 whoa. And men will just quit on you if you disrespect that. Like, man, I'm out of here. You want all that from me and then laugh at me and spit in my face? Fuck off. You know? And then
Right.
like, where did the men go? Where are all the good men? Chase them away, you bitch. You know? Like, what do I want that for? Men love to sacrifice. Look at what men really think of women. The heroic story, any heroic book or movie, what does the man do? He sacrifices and is willing to die to save the princess. That's our ultimate fantasy, to give everything we have and to die a glorious death for the woman we love, the society we love. You're going to do all that and then get shit on and called a bigot and a weirdo? Fuck off. You know? What was my sacrifice for?
Yeah, and the world and the women have been conditioned to think and believe that that is what men are there for, to be used.
Yeah, you're just going to snap your fingers and whistle. Get over here. Do this. Like,
Right. And it's actually really awful. And then you get, these women, they want to be ugly and bossy and be like, never submit and treat men bad. And then they wonder why there are no good men. And it's just like, well, you want a good man, you also have to be a good woman.
what? That's sexist.
And
You're a goddess that doesn't have to do a damn thing she doesn't want to do. And men better just like it.
and I have gotten comments from different women at different times that say, well, you don't have to worry about it. You have a husband. And they say it so hateful and ugly.
No,
And
why?
and
Why do you have a husband?
and right. It's not like I tripped and I fell into a husband. I had to put some effort into it too.
Right.
And they're jealous and ugly towards me because I have a husband and I just think like, no, every woman can have a husband too. Because up until recently, most people would get married young. Most people
That's one of the most stupid, foolish things we've done as a society post World War II, the postmodern era, is tell people that it makes sense to wait till your 30s or 40s to get married. That's just incorrect. And here's the big reason why. When she and I got married, I was 18 and I worked at Toys R Us. I made $8 an hour. And she waited tables for tips and $2 an hour, $2.15.
Yeah, because California has tip credit.
So we were poor and we struggled. But we have the same religion, the same values, the same culture. So we were fine being poor. We were happy and we'll make it. No, we will. So we worked really hard for years and now we have a very good life. And it's ours. Whereas if I go to college and she goes to college and you find yourself, aka sleep with 100 dudes in 4 years, and you get a job and you work up the corporate ladder and you live these separate, selfish, individualistic lives, and then get married at 37 when you've just lived a whole life, you're kind of set in your ways. You've done all the bleeding and the suffering without your spouse. When you train for sports, football has the summer camp before the season. When you join the military, you go to boot camp and you suffer and they change your mind and they turn you into someone who accomplishes great things. Not alone. It's as a unit. So when you look at the other Marine or Army soldier next to you, he suffered just like you. It makes you trust him. It makes you love him. It makes you want to do anything for him. And it makes you appreciate him. So when my wife and I are poor for the first 5-10 years of our marriage, but we're getting better, we suffered the blood, sweat, and tears and the 3 jobs at once and the living check to check. We did that together. So that builds a bond that's unbreakable. Everyone should get married young and be poor young. It's a gift. What it builds inside of you cannot be built any other way. And this whole shoot of it's too expensive to have kids to get married. You're being lied to. I don't blame you for believing it because that message is everywhere. It's a lie. You should be poor and married and work out of it, and that work together, just like boot camp, suffering together, it makes an unbreakable bond. So that's one of the biggest scams in history right now is, oh yeah. Your young, super productive years, that's for me, the employer. When you're old and tired, go have a kid when you're 40. I don't know if you know anything about babies. You need sleep. They don't like giving you sleep. And it is best to have these babies when you're 20, 21, 22, where you can live on 2 hours of sleep. But I'm 46. And I'm one of those people genetically, naturally, I don't need a lot of sleep. And I'm totally healthy 6 hours a night, but I want my 6 hours. I don't want 3 hours. I don't want 4 hours. I want my 6 hours. I know most people need, 7, 8 hours. I just don't. It's genetics. But regardless, I wouldn't want to be raising a little kid with just my wife. We have Big Baby here, but, Big Baby has her mom and stuff that's going to deal with her at night and stuff like that. And her mom's in her 20s. And,
Yeah, but even when I watch her sometimes all day,
you get a little tired,
I'm exhausted at the end of the night.
right? Because kids just want to play, and you got to play. You
Right.
can't just stick an iPhone in their hand.
But when I was younger, at one point I had a full-time job. I was going to school full-time, and I would still, get the kids off to school, pack lunches, make breakfast, make dinner. And I would put the kids to bed at 8 o'clock at night and then start doing my homework.
Right.
And there's no way, looking back, I'm like, how the heck did I do that? Because I don't think I could do that today because I'm a lot older.
Right.
It's time has passed, and I'm tired just doing one thing.
Right.
But
No, I remember when I was in college, I worked at the city newspaper, I worked at the university newspaper, and I worked at Home Depot, and I was a student and a father and a football and soccer coach. Saturdays, I would get up at like 4:30 to get to Home Depot at 5 a.m., work as a returns associate, returns cashier and all that from 5 a.m. to 2, come home, slam a quick lunch, and be at the newspaper by like 4 p.m. So I had like 2 hours off in the middle of the day, 2 to 4. Get to the newspaper at 4 and stay at the newspaper and get home from the newspaper at 1 a.m.
Right.
So I'm going Saturday, 5 a.m. Saturday to 1 a.m. Sunday, all the while being an honor student, a father, coaching soccer with my kids, coaching football with my kids, being married. Like, I could do it. I was in my 20s.
Right.
And
it's not a complaint. I just look back and think that that's crazy.
You couldn't ask me to do that. So I don't know how you would in your mid-40s.
Right. It's not a complaint because we do it over again. But it's doable is the point.
Right. And people they get caught up in, oh, you don't have money for kids and this, that. Yes, you do. Here's a secret. Kids don't cost a lot of money. You can buy clothes at Walmart. You won't die. Okay? You can eat, beans, ground beef. You can eat, like, it doesn't have to be out to eat every meal. Like, come on, dude. Like, it's so much better to have a family, and you're being ripped off by people that tell you can't have one unless you're a millionaire.
And that's just not true. And
they're doing it because they want you to be theirs.
Right.
People who don't have a wife and kids, they can work overtime Saturday all night, blah, blah, blah. And now you're theirs and you're making them rich. And guess what? They're not doing. They're not working 80 hours a week. They do have a family and kids. So they are having their family and kids at your expense. It's a trick, dude. You shouldn't believe it. It's okay to be poor. It's okay to be poor and young. It is.
Right.
And it does you a lot of good if you're poor and you find a way out of it. It does you a world of good.
It does. It's I appreciate what I have now.
We were poor.
Yeah.
Like, hey, honey, we have $16 in the checking account.
So
like that kind of stuff we'll use on all the time, We'll
use 8 for gas and we'll save the other 8 in case anything comes up.
Right. It was like, well, you paid in 4 days.
Right.
And you're getting $270 this week or whatever back then.
Right.
So, and now we do very well, but we earned it and God bless us. So I think that journey, that struggle of being so poor, but being confident and hopeful, like, no, we're going to be fine. It's America. We're going to be fine. And I get it. It's harder now than it has been. It was hard in 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4. It was not as bad as it is now, but it was pretty close. It was, if you go look at the statistics from the, the Labor Department, the Treasury Department, it isn't that much worse right now than it was 20 years ago. And, it got bad in the late 70s and it's just gotten worse. I understand that. It isn't impossible. You can't believe that. You can't think that way.
Yeah.
Like, you're self-defeating. There's an old saying, people who think they can't are right.
Right.
Let
me read a few chats before we take off. It's noon.
Okay.
Diane Francis says, I'm amazed at how these younger generations treat men and think they should do everything for them and get nothing in return. I think that's a huge problem of just taking and not ever giving.
Well, and that's the men's nature is to give. It's women's nature to receive. And that's a good thing. That's the natural order. But you do it enough to men, like I said, they'll quit on you.
Right.
And they won't make a fanfare. They won't make a scandal. They'll just like, where'd he go? And they'll just check out.
Right. Antonia 707 said, my sister doesn't understand why, quote, there's no good men, unquote. I told her maybe you should have looked for a man instead of a college career. That didn't go over well.
Well, tough love.
And, I think a lot of, at least what I've seen, a lot of people meet in college. It's okay to go to college. One thing I would say, though, is, as you heard us talk about earlier, that Gabe and I went to college after we had children. I'm not recommending that or not recommending it, but I personally put my career as a back seat to making sure I was there to drive my kids to school, make lunches, breakfast, and be there when I picked them or when they got out of school, be able to pick them up. But so I was behind in my career, one, because I got a degree late, but two, because I prioritized my being there for my children. I didn't want them being at the school until 5 or 6 p.m. So I didn't do that. I made sure I was home on vacations and summers, but I had to put my accounting career on the back burner. And it didn't always feel good because I would see other people my age that were so much further along. I had one or two managers that were younger than me. And that's, that's like a blow to your ego. Like, oh, I'm turning 40 and my 35-year-old or 32-year-old manager is giving me assignments, but that's how that goes.
But let me say this about employers and jobs. Any of you watching, you have a job. If you died, God forbid, if you died today, they would have an ad out to replace you Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
Don't
so it's a lie
to these employers. When you're there, you work your ass off, you do a good job, but you have to have perspective and context. You are a number on a spreadsheet to HR.
For sure.
And it's nothing personal. They don't hate you. It's just business. So if you put business ahead of children and family and marriage and God, you're being tricked. I'm not calling you a bad person. You're being tricked. And one thing about life, about getting good outcomes, we'll leave on this, is being honest. Do not have ego in the way of telling yourself that you're making mistakes and screwing up. Don't let your ego block you from seeing that. I have asked my wife, I'm always trying to be radically honest with myself and assess my behavior and my thoughts. It's called metacognition. You think about what you're thinking about. I think it. Why am I thinking it? Why? Don't let it just be these subconscious drivers of your behavior. Really analyze your choices and get to the bottom of why you're choosing things. But I couldn't recommend marriage and family as early as possible for everyone. I don't care about the finances. You will make it work.
Yeah, you always figure out how to do it. You never just stop living because something didn't work. You do something.
Right. Yeah.
So
there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Right. Is that okay, guys? Go to bigmancomics.com. Get Dean Cain All-American LAWMAN. As you can see, the Unstoppable Tyrus, we're just cruising. More pages come on. This is page 99, I believe, out of 125. Imperium is done. I should be getting it from the printer in sometime into next week. Some preview samples and stuff like that. And we're ramping up something huge for Comic-Con. Going to have a great party at Comic-Con. Going to have an awesome booth with awesome guests. I already confirmed some guests yesterday. You're going to love it. So get out to San Diego, January 23rd through 27th for Comic-Con. You can meet me in person, and you're going to love it. And follow me on X, Big Man Comics. Follow me on TikTok. How old are you? Big Man Comics 1, and everywhere else on Gabe LT, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Hit the like, hit the share. Guys, get people to sub to this channel. Because we do live streams, YouTube will knock off a couple sometimes, so we need to keep replacing them and grow the channel. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Thank you for everything. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.